experiments, but he was changing the electrodes. Right, and I'm actually going to show you a picture a little bit later after this. He was doing these discharges from copper into copper, and in the debris field where you had like sputters from the discharges, there were particles that were 85, 80%, 87% gold. So copper into gold. Now, if you look at where they are, you've got copper up here and you've got gold down here. So it's like a whole bunch of nucleons have condensed onto the outside.
Sit here.
There's one here.
Hey, don't move that. Oh,
Yeah, don't move that.
don't move that.
Just move that back.
No.
Can you come in here? Oh, that's right there.
So it's like a whole bunch of nucleons have condensed on the outside to make the gold. Just turn it down a bit. So what I want you to think about is this: what happened next? He went on holiday. This was last February. He came back and the entire department, the entire facility was disbanded. They took all of his equipment, all of his notes, all of his personal computers, all of his tools, personal tools, and they haven't been able to be contacted since. He repeatedly made gold. He didn't tell me what his starting material is, but I already know it's copper from copper particles. It's naturally going to be that, but the rate of production is much higher.
So
Now,
no one replicated it. Next year.
well, everyone can replicate it soon because we're going to publish. He spent decades and his own money
Who
developing
is
his
the
technology.
he? Who is the he?
George Eagley.
Eagley. Okay.
Eagley.
So Eagley made gold.
Yes.
Okay.
And the Swiss took his entire lab away when he was on holiday,
Oh.
knowing he couldn't do anything about it because he was just on a $300 a month pension. He'd spent all of his savings on developing the technology because he wanted the patent. Now the patent is open, so he doesn't care. He's working with the MFMP. We need to raise about $5,000 to replicate it, $5,000, and that's it. So, but this is that's one shock for you, but it's the much smaller shock. When you see the big shock at the end, after the very big shock, but there's an even bigger shock at the end, you'll understand why they took that technology away from him. Has anyone got any questions whilst I find the next point? Okay, so so there's this guy called Lakatos, who's also Hungarian, and he's been following Eagley's work, and he took a magnetron, created a waveguide, and he took fluoro bulbs, standard compact fluorescents, you've got them everywhere, and he broke off the ballast from the bottom, but kept the part sealed, so it's still got the pressure or vacuum or whatever it is in there, and inserts the bulbs into the microwave waveguide. Couple of minutes, he gets a large quantity of sulfur, so much so that you can see it very clearly. And you've got the silicon dioxide. Okay, so you're getting it from the oxygen in the silicon dioxide. Just literally a magnetron waveguide, bulbs from a. He's done lots of experiments. He's taken a lead type alloy and he's put it on a brick, put it in a microwave, and he's got fantastic transmutations just by having lead in a microwave. So I'm giving you lots of stuff that is really simple. You can do, and it's all emerging now. So I'm going to have to read this. It was going to be a much better presentation, but I had to shift because of things. At this point, I was absolutely convinced that microwave and high-frequency electromagnetic waves were the path to repeatable LENR with significant transmutation. Then I thought, I've seen some videos from the 80s by John Hutchinson. I watched these videos, I think even before YouTube existed. These old videos by this guy, this American or Canadian called John Hutchinson. He's sort of like crazy dude with big hair, but he's just one of these guys that just is fascinated by Tesla technology, and he bought all these old World War II microwave transmitters and receivers, and he just messed around with them in his lab. And I swore in the back of my mind that he was talking about transmutation in one of his videos. So I searched online for microwave Hutchinson transmutations, and I came across the work of Ken Solders. Previous to that, I did I first looked for Hutchinson. I'm going to see if I can find a video here by Hutchinson. Not yet. John Hutchinson used static fields, which could be from a Van de Graaff generator or a Tesla coil, and
he had 3 microwave
yes,
horns focused on.
he had all kinds of combinations.
I've seen videos.
Yeah, so many of the people in the room will not have seen them. Now, I have done 3D since 3D could be done.
The ball
Right.
lighting up.
Correct. I have done 3D since 3D could be, but I was the first registered trainer of one of the main animation technologies on desktop. I was asked personally to go and work on the Toy Story things, but I was already working on other animation. These videos taken in the 80s would be extremely difficult to fake in 3D now. And John Hutchinson was accepting like $500 for like a couple of months food money. You know, he had no capability to do it, even if he was living now, to fake these videos that were recorded by Handycam back then. Now these things you could argue, maybe there's some way to fake them. Oh, I've got no data, have I? This is on YouTube, isn't it? Can we have a connection? Is it possible to get a connection? Can someone give me a connection somehow?
Yeah, just why don't you
Conference
get
room?
into the while, right.
Has it got a Wi-Fi for the conference room? Password? Do we have a password here? For the conference room.
I think it is conference 123, just a minute.
Let's try that whilst you're finding it there, right here.
Password there. It's written there. Yeah, ME_conference at ABC.
Okay. Me underscore CON.
NF and
No, it's not. It's not
Oh.
registering.
ME
underscore
Yes.
CONF
CONF.
at ABC.
Good. Let's do it.
ME356.
Done?
Did I do something wrong there?
Right. It's ME_.
It says it's connected, but I'm not getting anything.
So maybe just put internet, maybe it has to pass out, I guess. No.
Reload
Can you go to the web page? Just search
Oh, I'm going to turn that
put
on.
internet.iitb.ac. Maybe it needs to be-
It seems to connect okay.
Just put internet. Acha, is it in mail? You are able to see any web page? No, what you do is just put internet.iitb.ac.in.
Internet.
No, internet.iitb. iitb.
IIT.
b.ac.ac.in.
Has anyone got a phone with data that you can share?
Just connect to 1+3.
1 plus 3.
Yeah.
What is that? Oh, 1 plus 3. Okay.
Yes. Password is POIU.
POIU. Yeah.
Just go to NQ. POIUY
You show it. It's easier.
R EWQ.
The complete.
complete row.
Go and put. It's
There
connected.
you go.
Yeah, we connected? Are we? Let's have a look. See if I can find that video again. Hey! Well done. Thank you.
Data doesn't have to make sense. Right. Data just has to be truthful. The truth.
Doesn't have to make sense, just has to be truthful.
Einstein right or wrong. Okay, now his data showed everything from a chocolate milkshake snaking toward the top of his room, to bowling balls floating in the air. I have all his data, I've been following it. I am a senior scientist from Lockheed Martin. I have been a senior research engineer for Howard Hughes, Texas Instruments. Nevertheless, we've been working for some time now in order to determine where the next energy levels are going to come from. Now by that I mean we aren't talking about wind or solar.
Let's speed this up, sorry.
Or even atomic. We have other formats of energy that we've theoretically proven that are.
Listen to what he's saying, right? This is an old video. This guy died, but he spilled the beans. We have other forms of energy which we have proven which are not nuclear, which are higher energy than nuclear. Listen to what he has said.
That are available. Not only that, but there have been significant developments, and many times the things that we call UFOs are really some of the developments that we've been involved with.
Listen to what he said. Many of the things that are sometimes called UFOs are some of the things that we've developed.
Did Lockheed have been involved?
We already have the means to travel among the stars, but these technologies are locked up in black projects, and it would take an act of God to ever get them out and benefit humanity. You are going to be told today what those technologies are. You just need to understand that this is going to mentally mess with your head. Anything you can imagine, we already know how to do. This is the guy, the head, working all the black projects. He spilled the beans.
So, are these some of the UFOs we're seeing? You believe are ours? They're United States military.
Well, Area 51 is literally where the majority of the things that we call the black program were developed, and many times sightings would occur directly associated with them. As I
We now have the technology to take ET back home.
would not give us what we wanted, but it gave us something else. And I would sweep it under the rug because it didn't match theory. And after a while I said that is not honest. That is not proper. You must record the data properly. And indeed, once you record the data, then you start modifying the theory. But Einstein's work is only a slight modification of it, of course. But we do understand that Newton's work has, Newton's work.
Watch this, it's lovely.
Says anything that's in motion tends to remain in motion, right? Okay, so I have something, and I'm taking it around counterclockwise. And see it, and what Newton said is true. He just wants to go around, 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 around. This particular thing is called a cell. It is not, it's clear plastic, there's nothing in it. Okay, now I'm going to take it around clockwise. It says, no, I don't want to do that. He says, like my children, I will do it my own way.
Why did they go the other way?
Precisely. A Newton's law.
Is that because of the rotation of the planet, or?
Well, you may. In fact, first of all, send it around counterclockwise.
Okay. This is called a cell.
It is celt, C-E-L-T.
What's that? Oh, there we
The
go.
guy's called Boyd Bushman.
Plastic.
You'll need to want to watch
Okay,
this
now
video
take it
again.
clockwise.
Okay.
And it says,
And
no.
many of the videos I show you today, you need to download them because when I reveal what I'm going to reveal and it's published, many of these videos may be taken down.
You have to,
No, but it is rotating in some field. Is there some electromagnetic field around?
mathematics.
Yep.
He doesn't explain it.
What your theory
So
would
there's some
say.
oil and other things standing there.
A lot of people are doing nothing more than getting huge quantities of mass and see if they can get a gravity wave to cause things to move. Well, that isn't what we're talking about at all.
Listen to what he said. A lot of people are trying to get a huge mass and trying to get a gravity wave to move it, right? I'm going to tell you today how you can move things that effectively have no mass, but can be any size. Well, or could be in something that has the propulsive ability of, anyway, you see.
Wondered if gravity could be related to its cousin magnetism. And so I found that when I take two magnets together, I have some neodymiums around here that I'm actually afraid of. They can danger you. But anyhow, when you take a magnet, you go, they put them together and they go clunk, right? But you take one of them, move it around, and all of a sudden one doesn't want to go right.
The repulsive.
So I ordered one at $5,000 a piece with a 1/4-inch hole through between both of them. And I put a brass bolt and I tightened them down, forcing them together. And then I put them together.
Just to understand, he's got two custom-made new neodymium magnets that have been made with a hole through them. He's rotated them, taken them away so they're repulsive and kept them together with a brass bolt.
Thing that looks kind of like a rock. Okay, and then I got another one that didn't have magnets in it. And Galileo, in all his endeavors, he went up to the Leaning Tower of Pisa,
And drop these.
and he saw a big rock and a small rock. And his buddy down the bottom kept telling him that the large rock and the small rock arrived at the same time. Well, I went up to in the Lockheed Building 501 by the side of escalators and elevators, and I got 9 guys that were not educated and didn't have pre opinions on anything, and I dropped my 2 rocks, and I said, what I would like you to do is, I told them what I'd like you to do is I would like you to take whichever one arrives first, get it in your hand, and when I come down the elevator, hand it to me. And they looked identical, except for.
So, and nobody knew what was inside?
None, absolutely none. All the 9 times that I tested it, it's as though the one with the opposing magnet field extending out 3 feet on each side, I actually measured
How big the field is.
how big the field was. On each side of a rock, of one rock, I had a total of 6 feet. And at any rate, the other rock arrived first.
Which one arrived first?
The one that had no magnetic field in it.
So you were able to cancel out gravity to a certain degree. You were able to cancel
Precisely.
reduce the mass gravity effect
Precisely.
by opposing fields.
Isn't that nice? You've got, and got 9 signatures and would, I always skip, you know.
You did that at Lockheed. What service is this?
Oh, at least 8 years ago.
This is the actual document of Boyd's where he proved that by altering the field in a falling body, the magnetic field, it reduced its mass gravity equivalent and canceled out the effects of gravity to a certain percentage. And he did a building 500 drop test conducted from a height of 59 feet. The location is in White Sullivan, Texas. The time was 12:20 p.m. and this was in 1995, December 12th. Nobody knows this. I know it. So gravity, mass gravity,
There you go. You can do anti-gravity. Guaranteed. And it's a simple test you can do. Order up the neodymiums. Okay, he did say that those ones cost thousands of $14,000 each, but I think you can now get neodymiums with holes in fairly readily off eBay. So you might be able to find ones that already have holes in and run the tests. If you don't get some ones that are strong enough field, take it up to a taller building.
We have 40 meters, I think.
How amazing is that?
Have you seen what's called the Lifter project?
Go on.
Note it down and Google it down.
Lifter project.
You will see, I have given in my talk.
Okay.
These are student projects. This is something like a kite. You connect it to a power supply. It just lifts. It's just Lifter project. You Google it down.
Right, so
It's a framework.
come on to Hutchinson now.
Yeah, maybe anything.
What you're going to see is just come.
I don't know, how long have we got? How long can people stay for?
Maybe half an hour, I guess. Okay with me.
Okay. I mean, I'm here until tomorrow morning, but I know certain people need to stop and we have other things that we need to discuss, so yeah, you'll be able to see the recording.
Okay, thank you.
Um,
Yeah, sure.
Sorry?
We'll post it, yeah.
Okay.
Beyond me, we have video clips. Heavy objects levitating. Canadian John Hutchinson is a self-taught scientist who reports to have accidentally stumbled.
He doesn't ever class himself as a scientist, that's them saying it. He says, I'm just having fun, basically.
On a collection of phenomena now known as
Tesla coil with a
Hutchinson
fluorescent tube.
effect. During attempts to study the longitudinal waves of Tesla back in 1979, some of the effects produced include levitation of heavy objects, metal samples turned transparent, metals turned into jelly.
Listen, metal objects turned transparent. Metal objects turned into jelly. Now, there's a guy called Fulvio Fabiani, and in his report of his experience of working for Industrial Heat with Rossi, he said a Philip K. Dick piece from Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep, which was made into the film Blade Runner, which was, I have seen things that you wouldn't believe working with Rossi. I can tell you what those things are. Rossi's reactors would have vaporized. They would literally have atomized and disappeared. Some will have disappeared, some will have gone transparent, some will have produced direct electricity, some would have produced light that is so intense you couldn't believe it, some would have affected things a long, long way away, and some of them would have been lighter. As you move forward with this science, I would also monitor the weight of your experiments. It will be a good indication as to whether you're generating the effect. If your experiments are getting significantly lighter.
Spontaneous fracturing of metals. The Hutchinson effect has been well documented both on film and videotape, has been witnessed many times by numerous credentialed scientists and engineers. Hutchinson has presented over 750 demonstrations of levitations, all generated by the Hutchinson effect. He also has video documentation showing metallurgical samples falling apart, as well as the
Try and create that any other way than using the Hutchinson effect.
No, but you are not told us what is the Hutchinson effect.
Well, I know what it is.
No, the video has not told that.
No. Okay. So anyway, there's a large variety of effects. I'm just see if he talks
My
about.
memory was it was a microwave bombardment.
It was. I can tell you precisely what it is in a second. And the information about precisely what it is comes from the person that started about this massive experiment. The massive experiment that 2/3 of the world has seen, and it's already been replicated, and 2/3 of the world saw that replication, right? She started from that, and she worked back until she met Hutchinson, and then led her to this other person that I got to this way, right? I just want to see if I can get to the bit where he talks about the transmutations in his samples. This is a long video. So he's using discharge tubes, plasma you can see down here. Okay, well anyway, in this video or another video on Hutchinson, he describes a steel bar, which is about 2 or 3 inches, about so long, and it basically fractured in the middle, produced a load of fragments, and also a distorted break space, and massive, unbelievable non-radioactive transmutations in the fragments and on the surfaces. And I then looked for transmutation, Hutchinson, and microwaves, and I came across this guy called Kenneth Shoulders. He is one of the few people to have analysed John Hutchinson's transmutation samples. Okay, let me see if I can find. So this is the biography of Kenny Shoulders. You will have already used this guy's technology. In fact, this guy developed the vacuum systems. Look at the patents here. Method for making a needle-type electron source in 1970. The wafer channel, the electron tube with electron emitters. He did things for quadrupoles, like for mass analysis, but he is the father almost of microelectronics. This guy has been around the block. He's developed things everyone uses. Now, where this got really singly spooky for me is that this guy worked with, I'll come on to that, I just need to show you the paper that I came across from him, if I can find it. Oh dear, no, this might be awkward. Oh dear, I don't know where it is there. I have it. This is most unlikely, by the way. Whilst I'm looking for this, I'll put this up. This is the Oshawa tree. Can everyone see that? So you have carbon and nitrogen and oxygen, you get sulfur here, you get all the way down to zinc and copper here, you get all the way down to potassium and calcium here, silicon up here, and iron over here. Oh dear. Right, desktop. I'm going to do the search. Let's see if it works again, right? Unless I can find it here. God, very embarrassing. Go through my links there. Oh, there we go. Ta-da! This was given in 2005. EVOs and the Hutchinson effect. This is the first time I got any idea of what an EVO might be. I had no idea what this might be. So the Hutchison effect of slow bending of metals. He was able to bend 2-inch or 1.5 inch molybdenum billets. Now I don't know if you know how high temperature you need to bend molybdenum. It's very high. Okay, and he can make molybdenum go like this, just like, and it's not hot, by the way. It's not hot at all. Shredded metal structures, fractured metal structures, and propulsion both slow and impulsive. Melting without heat. Metal luminance without heat. Bear that in mind. Bear that in mind. Metal luminance without heat. EVO strikes abound in samples. Here's some samples of it. This is Hutchison, oh sorry, no, someone else when he, a while ago. Conception of artificially initiated collapse of substance and key results of the first stages of experimental implementation by this is Adamenko, the guy I was talking to earlier. Super heavy, stable isotope generation. Wide range of isotope transmutations, high energy photons and ions, neutralization of cobalt-60. So this is radio...
Converting radioactive material into
yes. At the end of this experiment, this talk, I will give a proposal for very, very quickly remediating Fukushima. Overall energy gain. So this is how, in Adamenko's work, he's creating charge clusters. Now, what are charge clusters? Does everyone know what an electron is? Yeah?
Electron.
What?
You know what an electron is, right?
Yeah.
Okay, good. That's a good start. Do you know, where is this? There.
Supposed to be some tea which you are talking about. Is this C?
Mm. Yeah, that's
Okay.
right.
The tea is there.
Okay.
Is there any?
It's there.
Right.
You can't take it here.
Oh,
Yeah, we can go out in a second. I'll start with charge clusters.
Yeah,
If
give
you-
us a
You have to come back, right. So, Kenneth Shoulders, you all know a muonic catalyzed fusion, yeah? It was done in the 50s.
No.
Okay, so you take normal deuterium, you've got a deuteron, that's a proton and a neutron, times 2, and they've got an electron between them, 2 electrons between them shared, yeah? Then you put a muon in there, and the muon is, you can see here, electron is 511 keV, and a muon is 105 MeV, so it's about 207 times bigger, or 200 and something times bigger.